okay, just let's live with it.
It's all good.
We all got it.
So that's part of my talk, is this is the start of something big. And that always involves change. And I don't know about you, but every change I've ever made has been earmarked and marked with scratch marks because I didn't want to do it. But you know, I do want to make this move. I am really excited about this move. To me, we are stepping into who we are as a community. Yes, it's a smaller space, but it's an opportunity to make it a sacred space. And so I would invite you, as you, for the first time, move into our new space. Now, I don't know why this causes me to cry, but just take a moment, touch the door frame, and bless the space. Just allowing yourself to acknowledge that this is a sacred home when we move into it. Now, New Year's Eve night, we are going to bless this space for the people that come behind us, that follow behind us. So we're starting something big, an opportunity to step into who we really are as a community. Tight-knit, loving, and supportive. And it's like reminding ourselves, as Kate in her invocation said, there's always an opportunity to start afresh. And that's true. All it requires is a decision, an opportunity to start fresh. We can always do that. But there comes a time in our minds that we need a sort of a ritual around it. So today's the start of something big, and it's a time of change. And I know that so many of us have difficulty with change. So here's some things that, steps that I want to just go through, and I'm going to be brief. You glad? So the first thing, oh, yeah, Denise is waving, like, yay! So releasing the old. When we step into something new, we need to think about releasing the old so that the playing field is flat and clear, and we don't carry a bunch of old stuff and old business along with us. Just making that personal decision to release the old. And then embracing the change. Knowing that no matter what turns up, no matter what kind of change occurs, that it's good. Because that's the way the universe works. The universe always skews to the good ultimately. And sometimes getting there can be a little bit rocky, but we never want to change when things are going smoothly. We always need that kind of friction that causes us, that propels us to move forward. We need the traction of conflict, perhaps. We need the traction of something that's uncomfortable. But always trusting that the universe skews to the good. You never can make a wrong decision. You never can have troubles that ultimately don't turn out well. So we look across, just as an example, we look across our country now, and all we see in the news is the bad stuff. The bad stuff. But I don't know about you, Facebook is showing a different way, isn't it? There's good stuff happening, and we need to celebrate that. So celebrating the good, embracing the new. So, just processing how the change will be for you. Looking and acknowledging that maybe it's a negative, there's negatives to it, and also there's positive to it. That change is never what we envision as being perfect. There will be downsides, but there's always what is the good that is going to come out of it, out of the change. And I think most important is a life lesson that we all can benefit from, and that is to live in the moment, to let go of the past and not worry about the future, and just being in the present. Because every time we are in the present, every time we're in this moment, life is blessed and life is good, and there are no problems. There are no problems in this moment. It's only when we look at the past and worry about it and think that we can change it in some odd way, or we look to the future and futurize it, fearify it, and only now, in this very moment, in the present, everything is perfect. So when we come to any kind of change, any kind of life altering situation or circumstance, just being in that one moment, being present with it, and then being present with the next moment and the next moment. And life unfolds deliciously and gently and easily that way. Even the bad stuff that we're judging as bad, staying in the moment with it allows us to move through it gently and graciously. So when things are distressing to us about change, it's always a good idea to find someone who's going to listen to you, either a sounding board or a mentor or a practitioner, a minister, someone to talk with that's not going to give you answers, but just being available to you and listening to you. And in that way, change is manageable also. Feeling like you're not going through it alone. And of course, to me, prayer is the answer to finding a sounding board. Because that divine creative essence that I call God, whatever name it goes by for you, is always available, always listening, always willing to hear you and comfort you. In the most trying times, the most exciting times, through change, Spirit is guiding and directing, orchestrating in some way. Not that things are always preordained, but the creative essence has a hand in it. I've been reading a really charming book whose author I can't remember, Squire Randolph, something like that. I'm not sure what his name is. It's called Godways. And the story that I really loved about this woman, I'm going to call her Mary because I can't remember her name. She'd been passing by the Crystal Cathedral, passing by the Crystal Cathedral, passing by the Crystal Cathedral, and thinking, oh, you know, I really need to stop there. I really want to go to the Crystal Cathedral. I wonder what's happening there. So one day, finally, Mary stopped at the Crystal Cathedral, and she was dazzled by the hugeness of it. It's a mega church. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And she just was so excited to watch the thousands and thousands of people. And a young woman sat next to her. She too was at the Crystal Cathedral for the first time. So Mary and this young woman struck up a conversation because they were both new. And the young woman, who I'm going to call Linda, the young woman, Linda, told Mary that she was in town looking for her birth mother. And Mary said, I so appreciate you doing that, she said. I had to give up a child. Conversation. Me weeping. So guess what?
Oh, okay, guess.
No kidding. Mary and Linda, mother and daughter. Now, you can call that an accident if you want to. You can call that a coincidence. God make. And God is always present in our lives, orchestrating things like that in answer to our prayers. And to me, this community is an answer to my prayer. I've been here 2 years. And I envision this community as a spiritual community, a center for spiritual living. And this space that we're moving to is what I hold as a vision for that. There's more usable space. It's smaller, no kidding, brace yourself. It's smaller, and yet it is so much more intimate. It is so much more spiritual. And there are, what did I say, 1, 2, 3, 4 usable spaces for us. So to me, this space that we're moving to is an answer to my personal prayer. And some time back, the board had visioned around a space. And I want to just tell you that this space is the answer to that vision. And it's even more exciting because it does have something of a kitchen space that's outside our suite. The restrooms are outside our suite, and we don't have to pay for them. And we don't have to pay for a parking lot. So all we're paying for now is the space within that is the answer to my prayer and the answer to the board's vision. The divine always skews to the good. And there will be those of us that say, yes, but it's smaller. Yes, but blah, 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 you know. But it's our home. And I am so excited. So I appreciate each one of you being here today, being willing to pick up a box and go to our new space. Now we're going to have pizza and some soft drinks. And then after we get everything packed up, we'll go over and move ourselves into this new place. And I want to just remind you, please, before you walk in, just touch the frame and bless this place. So, I love you all. I love this community. I love the whole essence of Circle's Edge. Namaste. Join with me as we hold this community in prayer. Now, we moved the prayer box already. So, if you have some prayer requests,
It's right there.
Oh, okay, oh, good, okay, there it is. That's a good place for it, by the door. Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh, what the heck?
Glad I waited until the last. So just join with me as we turn within. As I move into that space in myself, my essence, I invite you to move into that space too, to your heart space. And allow it to be open. Allow your heart to be open to the new. Allow yourself to be willing, to be guided and directed by the divine, to pay attention to those little intimate messages from Spirit. Allow yourself to be touched with peace, with harmony, and with love. Allow yourself to fully understand and recognize that you are it. You're God made manifest. You are the hands and the eyes and the ears and the mouth of God. That God moves and lives and has its being through you as you. And as this is true, knowing there cannot be any errors, there cannot be any mistakes, because that divine essence does not make mistakes. So I allow myself to shirk aside judgments and criticisms, sadness. I allow myself to step into that open heart space, to exude the essence of love that God is, to celebrate the essence of love that God is. Knowing that what needs to be healed is healed. What needs to be straightened out is straightened out. What needs to be moved around is moved around. Trusting and knowing it is all in perfect divine order. It cannot be otherwise. So with joy, with love, with enthusiasm, I accept the good that is mine to accept. And I celebrate it all. And I allow it to be. And I claim it for you and for me and for all that is the one. Trusting it's all perfect. And so I invite you to join with me as we own it for ourselves, for each one of us, and for the whole of all humankind by saying, and so it is. Amen. You guys.